Hello YouTube, it's me John Avenger once again, and this is going to be a different review this time. It's not going to be for a movie this time, it's going to be of a TV miniseries that came out on Disney Plus back in May. I finally finished it tonight, and that is the new Star Wars live action show that came out. It just finished tonight, is streamed, and that is Star Wars Obi-Wan Kenobi. Yeah, this is a great show. I know this is coming from me, a guy that hated all these new movies that came out, but again, unlike these new films, Deborah Chow had it was one woman's vision. There was a lot of good storytelling, a lot of nostalgia done the right way, great action sequences through and through. The classic characters have things to do here, and it's respectful. It doesn't take a shit on the property like a lot of the other Star Wars things that we've seen. And it was part of the Star Wars franchise. It stars Ewan McGregor, who's just as great as he ever was as Obi-Wan Kenobi. It was my favorite part of the prequels. Set 10 years after the events of Episode 3, the series follows Kenobi as he sets out to rescue the kidnapped Princess Leia from the Galactic Empire, leading to a confrontation with his former apprentice Darth Vader, Hayden Christensen, who definitely redeemed himself. He was not yelling, he was not whiny. Even when you could see through his face, you can see what he's going through. And you could see emotion in his eyes throughout most of it. The score was great. It was great to hear John Williams score again. The little girl that played, Princess Leia was adorable. Vivian Blair. It was good to see Uncle Owen and Aunt Beru again, played by the same actors from the prequels. They actually did something here. Darth Vader was always freaking awesome. James Earl Jones' voice still rocks. There's a reason he's still Darth Vader's voice. And it's one of the best shows of 2022. Easily, after all the shit I saw on the CW and on freaking Netflix and on HBO Max and on the other shows on Disney Plus, this is one of the best ones. Because this year we had Moon Knight, Book of Boba Fett, which came out last year technically, and this. And we just recently got Miss Marvel, which I'll get to in July. But this was a really good show. It received positive reviews. Critics praise McGregor and Christensen. They criticized the writing, but here's the thing. All the Star Wars properties have bad writing. Yes, even the originals had some dialogue that was weird or some inconsistencies. But, that's how it is, guys. Every franchise has its bad writing. And the viewership, it says Disney announced that Obi-Wan's the most watched series premiere for the streaming service in its opening weekend since the Mandalorian, which I'm like, that's still king. But this is the second place. A very strong second place behind Mando. According to Samba TV, Part 1 was viewed by 2.14 million people. See, I told you, streaming shows are the future. All these shows are getting canceled on the CW and Freeform and Fox 5 and freaking ABC and CBS and NBC because nobody gives a shit about regular TV anymore. They want to view stuff on streaming. It's the way of the future. It is here. And from May 27th to 30th, it surpassed the season premiere of Mandalorian Season 2 and the Book of Boba Fett. Because, again, this is why people wanted to see it. And the viewers kind of... Yes, the fourth episode is the weakest. But then in 5 and 6, it went way up. And it just hit all the right notes. It had a good sense of humor every time. It's a great looking freaking show. Some of the cinematography in this show it's just as good as Dune from last year. Or The Batman from earlier this year. It's good. It's a good freaking show. What the hell was people's problem? With Moses Ingram, the Black Inquisitor that is looking for Obi-Wan Kenobi throughout the series. She cuts a woman's hand off. She kidnaps Leia. She goes after Luke, but doesn't kill him, because you know what's going to happen to Luke in the originals. But yeah, they did focus a little too much on her. If they had toned her down, or Kathleen Kennedy was not involved in this, fuck you, I hope you get fired for this. She wasn't needed. You could have easily cut her out. You just needed the Inquisitor, Vader, and the Stormtroopers, and that's it. You didn't need these extra side villains. O'Shea Jackson Jr. was good in the show. Kumail Nanjiani was kind of underused. I didn't like Indira Varma. Whoever she played in the show with the curly hair, thank God she dies in episode 5. I didn't care about her. I didn't care about Bail Organa and his wife because they don't do anything. Like, they're just Princess Leia's adopted parents that are going to die in episode 4. So really, they didn't need a lot of screen time anyway. Alderaan looked beautiful. I love seeing the planet in person, not just 2 seconds at the end of episode 3. It's the productions are just as good as Mando and Book of Boba Fett. Great costumes, great CG, great freaking makeup effects. It feels like a movie. It doesn't feel like some cheap ass show like that Halo series that just came out. It's better than that. Trust me on this one. And the consensus was this won't be the Obi-Wan some viewers are looking for. Yeah, because people want the original Alec Guinness version. But McGregor's soulful performance and some refreshing twists make this a satisfying, if courteous addition to the Star Wars saga. I think it fits in well. Unlike Rogue One, which bored me to death and I hated the characters, this is much better. Andor, I'm not wasting my time. I saw Rogue One and I hated Cassian Andor's story in that, where he's the Mexican Drake Bell. We got to steal the Death Star plans with Jenner, so him and Felicity Jones had no chemistry and they failed as leads. In this show, the leads work effectively, and there was a lot of emotion behind this. This should have been the movie that we got after Episode 3, instead of the Clone Wars movie or Rogue One or Solo or The Force Awakens, etc. Some of the action was a little bit too not as choreographed as good as well, as in the original. Like the first fight with Vader and Obi-Wan, I liked it because especially what Vader does to him when he drags him to the rain, to the freaking flames, that was intense. That was the scariest thing in the entire series. And I'm like, yeah, Vader's still a badass here. He's not a whiny bitch like Kylo Ren is. And the shows are short. Each episode's about 45 minutes to 50 minutes. It's not 2.5 hours. So it gets right to the point. And it really does deserve all the accolades it got. It's not perfect, but for someone like me that wanted this way before the Force Awakens, it's exactly what I needed. Especially after the last 2 years that I've had. And it's not boring. I was never bored. Even in episode 4, there was some action I liked. And it's a fast-paced show. It doesn't take 20 or 30 minutes to happen. There is a lot of talking, but it's Star Wars. There's always going to be talking. It is a space saga. And, a lot of the action was well done. The space battles and the ground fighting and the blasting and Obi-Wan using his lightsaber against the stormtroopers. Its heart is in the right place. You can tell Lucas's essence was in this project. This wasn't to make money because obviously it was on Disney Plus. People already paid for that years ago. It was worth a long, long wait for this. It really was. And I'm like, why didn't we just get these shows instead of these freaking god-awful movies? Oh, yeah, because Kathleen Kennedy wanted to piss off the fan base in order for them to just subscribe on Disney Plus to see the other content. Because you got to see it. It's worth your time. And it's not just nostalgia every 2 seconds. You had young Luke there. It was good to see him as a kid. We got to see... they didn't have to be... Remember this, remember this, remember this. No, it was like a fan film for me. Which is what I needed. That's what it felt like. And unlike the other show, unlike Book of Boba Fett, there were no stupid biker rangers. They didn't have a filler episode with characters that were just thrown in there. There were no Hutts. Yes, the Emperor's in it, but it's in one episode, not for very long. So it's not Rise of Skywalker where everything is nostalgia, because J.J. Abrams missed a mark. Rian Johnson missed a mark. Freaking this guy, Garrett Edwards missed a mark. Ron Howard and whoever was going to do Solo missed a mark. They all missed a mark, guys. They gave us the bare minimum. This gave us enough meat on the bone to enjoy, and it's worth your time. If you haven't seen Obi-Wan, you have Disney Plus, watch it. You will not be disappointed. Don't listen to these haters that they hate on everything. They just see 2 episodes of a show and they can judge the show in a second. I'm like, give the show time to breathe. See the whole thing and then give your thoughts. Don't give your thoughts in half a show. That makes no freaking sense, guys. I don't do that anymore. I don't review a pilot anymore. I review the entire season or series, and then I go for it. That's what I do. I don't want to give half my thoughts. I wanted to let it sink in, and it's worth it. After all this waiting I had to do after Mando and the Book of Boba Fett and Bad Batch, I'm glad this was not a disappointment, and I loved it. It's what I needed, guys. It really is. This was supposed to be a movie, but I'm so glad that we got a good show out of it, and it feels very cinematic, so it doesn't feel like some cheap CW show that's gonna last like 25 episodes and we're bored. No, it fulfilled its purpose. Do something with purpose, like Caitlin Deaver. Yeah, this had a purpose to entertain me and my family, who gave it a fair shake, and it was worth it. I was never bored. There were problems, but they weren't so monumental like the hobo, where that it would destroy my experience. No, there are no hobos here. There's only Star Wars royalty, and that's what I need, Disney. Not forced nostalgia or stupid female agendas or wokeness. I don't need that. That's why Lightyear flopped, and this was a hit. So suck it, Pixar. Don't pander. Just entertain me. That's all I want. That's what I've been wanting for the past 10 years. Just saying. But anyway, thanks for watching, guys. This long review. I mean, I know it's more than 5 minutes, but Obi-Wan Kenobi was worth the long wait. We had to wait 17 years after episode 3 to see Ewan McGregor play this role again, and he nailed it. He's still got the essence. He's got the voice. He's got the accent. He's got the screen persona. It's right there. It's not like it's a carbon copy. He took what Lucas gave him, and then they added more to it, and they gave him more sympathy, and they made him more interesting, and it was just amazing. And I loved what they did with Obi-Wan. Fuck the haters who think this is bad. You want to see bad? Go see Tom Swift on the CW. Go see Naomi. Go see Batwoman. Go see these shitty Disney Channel shows and Nickelodeon shows. Those are bad. Those have horrible jokes and gay stuff and things that are not needed, and they have laugh tracks. This doesn't need that. This is a good freaking show. It's the production's on the screen, the money's on the screen, the talent's on the screen. The only one that could go fuck themselves is Kathleen Kennedy, because she needs to be fired. Toxic fans are worse because of her, not because of George Lucas. So anyway, thanks for watching. Take care. And I'll see you in the next review. Will be a movie. So later, guys.